Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I am all sweaty and gross and I'm sick again, like always. And we try to ignore that here on this channel because it is as usual, I guess. I have my computer here beside me, and that's why I'm looking on this side sometimes in the video. And today I wanted to do the what was it called? Trad witch tag, which was prompted as a challenge by Polish folk witch. So yeah, that is what we are going to do today. I will answer some questions in this challenge about my practice and who I am. So the first question is, what kind of craft do you practice? I'm identify as a quite eclectic witch, and but I have quite a few influences, and that is green witchcraft and hedge witchcraft. Um, and with hedge witchcraft, I mean I'm working a lot with spirits and with the other side of things. And I used to identify as Wiccan, but I'm no longer. That's another question later, so I will elaborate more about that. But I have changed a lot over the years. But right now I'm practicing mostly like folk witchcraft or folk magic and green witchery and hedge witchery. That's my main focuses. Question number 2. What paradigm, faith, or philosophy informs your craft? I have thought a lot about this, and I think I, for a very long time, had more of a religious faith. I mean, a religious kind of lifestyle that was informing my practice. But now, although I'm identifying with paganism and believe I am a pagan, I think that's only I think that is what informs my practice the most right now. I have a journey where I have changed a lot, but right now I identify most with paganism and that sort of philosophy, and I think that informs my practice today. Question number 3. What culture or cultures is your practice rooted in? I'm not an English speaking person, as you can probably tell by my accent. I live in Sweden, and therefore I'm naturally um, influenced by mostly Norse paganism and that kind of witchcraft. Um, Yeah, but I have a mixed heritage, and my mother was born in India. She is from India and also has heritage from Portugal. So I have a lot of influences in those countries as well, even though my main focus or my main influence is the Norse tradition. Number 4. How long have you been practicing and how did it all start? I have been practicing for about 4 or 5 years, I think, but it did start when I was like 15 or 16 years old. That was a long time ago. I can't really. I'm 30 now, so it was like 15 years ago. Uh, but I didn't start for or like an active practice until I was maybe 25 or 26, 26 I think. So it was almost 5 years ago because I'm turning 31 this year. And I did start out with Wiccan books and was very heavily influenced by that because that was all that was available at the time when I was starting out as a 16 years old. I think it has been I think it's a great thing that witchcraft has been expanding and are less mysterious or less unavailable now. It's more accessible for anyone now, and lots of traditions and more. There are more resources out now than it was when I started out, so that's why I'm started out with Wiccan tradition. Question 5. What books or resources did you start with? What would you recommend them today? I already touched this question in the last question. It was mostly Wiccan resources, and I don't know if I would recommend them today. Probably not. If you're not a Wiccan, maybe then I would consider them decent. But to me, as more of a folk witch or hedge witch or green witch, um, eclectic witch, I would not consider them very helpful today. Question 6. How has your practice and or paradigm changed over the years, if at all? That was the question I was hinting at before. Um, I used to be Wiccan, but before that, I used to be Christian, or if it was reversed, I don't know. But I have been um, a Wiccan witch and I have been a Christian witch before I landed on pagan witch. I grew up in the church and my parents and my relatives were actually very supportive of my practice, and especially my mom was very supportive, and she's still very supportive. My dad is also very supportive, but my mom is more into it herself, even though she wouldn't consider herself a witch necessarily. She is very spiritual in that regard. So I have had support in it, even though I was a Christian, but it felt like the more I learned about Christianity and Christian theology, I felt like that wasn't the path for me. So I just recently actually started to discover more about what I actually am, and that leans more towards paganism. So and a short period of time between all of that, I was also calling myself a Wiccan, even though I believed in the Wiccan teachings, like the god and goddess did make sense to me, more than the Christian god. But um, I think it can make even more sense in the paganism, like Norse paganism religion for me, than Christianity or Wicca. So that was my answer. So, question number 7. What does your daily slash regular practice look like? What do you do on a regular basis? Yeah. So, I have talked a lot in my other videos about how I'm chronically ill, and I have very low energy, so I'm not that kind of witch that does complex rituals and spells all that often. I I do it sometimes, maybe once a month or once every 2 months or something. So I do um, like more complex ritual work as well. Uh, but I I actually like more. I actually like to be more simplistic in my craft and just take what I have and do it when I feel like it. And that's pretty much what my daily practice is like. Um, I work a lot with tarot cards and spirit work in the daily on a daily basis, and I do a lot of spirit work and tarot and connecting with my higher self and that kinds of things quite regularly. At least a few times each week. Uh, but on the daily, I don't know um, if I'm even doing something daily, if I shall be honest. And I don't consider myself less of a witch because of that. Oh, I forgot. I actually do a lot of plant magic and taking care of my plants and my herbs in my little indoors herb garden. That's like green witchery. That's something I actually do every day. So I think I prefer the more simplistic way of doing things, if that makes sense. Question number 8. Are there aspects of your craft that you need to keep a secret? In your opinion, is secrecy important in witchcraft? Both yes and no. I I don't share my rituals online because I feel like um, that's actually sacred work, and I want to keep that to myself because I do think secrecy is important in witchcraft, and not everyone have to see everything you do. I'm happy to share my witchy life in my videos and in my social media, but I won't share like an actual ritual online because that would impact that ritual or spell. So yes, I do think secrecy is important in witchcraft, but that doesn't mean that you need to keep yourself as a witch a secret. In my opinion, if you don't have to, it's up to you. I mean, I don't have to keep myself secret as a witch, so I don't do that. But if you aren't in a safe place, um, and if you need to keep yourself entirely secret, that's nothing wrong with that either. I think that's up to the individual. Question number 9. What are some of your favorite tools that you use regularly? um, I use crystals very much, actually, and tarot cards, and herbs. I think that's candles. I use quite a lot of the mm, common tools. I don't know, but I will emphasize that tools are not always necessary. If I'm in a place where I don't have access to all the tools, I will use what I have at hand. So tools aren't that necessary. But I like crystals and I like tarot cards and I like herbs and candles. That's mostly what I use. And the last question, question number 10. What books or resources would you recommend to newbie which is interested in your kind of craft? Yeah, that was a hard one actually because I don't know. I have learned a lot from just searching online or from family members, but I do like the book Intuitive Witchcraft by. I can see if I can put it here on the screen because I don't remember the author. I also like most books about herbalism and crystal things with crystals. So I don't know actually. I hmm. That was a hard question. I don't know if I'm going to answer it because I'm no expert in anything. I have taken a few courses on Udemy and on Center of Excellence. I can put them also here on the screen. That has um, helped me out a lot with my practice as well. Um, so I guess that was everything I had to say about that question. Our practices are so personal, so I don't know if I'm qualified to do anything when I don't know you individually. If I know your individual story, maybe that will be easier to recommend anything or something. Or I don't know. But when, as a general question, I don't know. I don't know. And it's a power to don't know. So that was all for today's video. And it was fun to answer these questions so you can get to know me even better. And I see you in my next video. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you want to. And I also have a blog, trickslife.net. It's here in on the video somewhere right now. And please feel free to follow me over there. I see you in my next video. Bye.